My journey from Colombo to Canada was so long. Honestly, it felt like years stuck in that giant monster of a plane. Finally, I was in Montreal. My new human friend, Genevieve, kept calling it dog heaven, and honestly, I was starting to see why. The moment we stepped out of the airport, the air felt different, crisp, clean, and full of smells I'd never encountered before. Surely not like Maradana, the city I was born. Our first real adventure was to a park near a place called Papineau Street. I have to admit, I was a nervous wreck. The cars here were nothing like the lumbering, predictable Leyland buses back home. They were fast, sleek, and zipped around like angry metal insects. Every time one whizzed by, my fur stood on end, and my tail tucked itself so far between my legs it practically disappeared. Genevieve must have sensed my fear. She knelt down, her hand stroking my back, her voice a soft, calming melody. "It's okay, little guy," she'd whisper. "You're safe with me." And in that moment, I believed her. Her touch was like a magic spell, chasing away the shadows of my past. The park itself was a whole new universe. It was a sea of green, dotted with dogs of all shapes and sizes. That's where I met him, a fluffy, white cloud of a dog named Bookie Dookie. He trotted over, his tail wagging like a metronome on fast forward. He told me he was from a place called Paraya, and he asked me about my mom. Mom, I remember thinking. I told him I didn't have one, that I'd always just been me. Bookie Dookie tilted his head, his dark eyes filled with a gentle confusion. "But everyone has a mom," he said. He then pointed his nose towards a lady on a nearby bench. "That's my human mom." That one sentence completely rewired my brain. A human mom? Could Genevieve be my mom? It was a strange, wonderful, and slightly overwhelming thought. The idea of having a family, a real pack, started to take root in my heart. From that day on, the park became my stage. As I got more comfortable, I started sharing stories of my life in Sri Lanka. I told them about my tough life in Maradana, which was full of bullying big dogs, unfriendly cats, and food scavenging. Also, how the school children and the poor people fed us. About monsoon rains, speeding buses that had no love for living things. There were beautiful things, too. Although I have never seen myself, while on the streets back home, I have heard of other dogs talking about sunny beaches, the taste of salty sea air, and the thrill of chasing crabs on the beach. So I told my new friends in Montreal about the blue seas of Sri Lanka. You see, Montreal had no sea, but they had a very big river called the St. Lawrence. I described the chaotic symphony of the fish markets and the silent, watchful gaze of the monitor lizards who were near garbage dumps and dirty canals. The other dogs would gather around, their ears perked, listening intently. They were fascinated, amused, and scared at times. Well, I understood. They have never lived in the streets, so how can they possibly know those horrors or beaches? A big, goofy golden retriever named Gus started calling me the Wizard of Sri Lanka. I did not know who a wizard really was, but I liked that name anyway. To them, my stories were like magic, tales from a far-off, mystical land. They never believed that Sri Lankan street dogs were nameless, had no Instagram accounts where their moms post pictures. I never felt so important, so seen. I wasn't just a stray anymore. I was a storyteller, a keeper of memories, a wizard. One crisp autumn afternoon, a wise old Shiba Inu named Kai Kai joined our circle. The leaves were turning brilliant shades of red and gold, and a cool breeze rustled through the park. After I finished a tale about outsmarting a particularly grumpy mongoose, Kai Kai looked at me with his ancient eyes and said, "Wizard, you tell stories of the sun, but do you know about winter?" Winter, the word was foreign, mysterious. He spoke of something called snow, a cold, white blanket that would cover everything. He described frozen water, icy winds that bite at your ears, and a world where the sun was a distant, pale visitor. He said it was a time for long naps, warm blankets, and staying close to your humans. The other dogs shivered, some with excitement, others with a little bit of fear. I tried to imagine it, this winter, but my mind, so full of tropical heat, just couldn't grasp it. It sounded like another one of my magical stories. But Kai assured me it was not just very real, but also hard. Even the trees lose their leaves, birds do not fly, and those nut-eating, nasty squirrels hide. If you stay outside, you freeze. Sounded like this winter was as bad as a Leyland bus in Sri Lanka, a heartless roaring monster. Then Kai said, "Fear not, little one. Winter is not a monster. A beautiful season where Mother Nature sleeps, covering herself with a white blanket." Now, I'm sitting here on the balcony of our apartment, looking out over the city lights. The air is getting colder, just like Kai said it would. From this spot, I can see the world Geneve has given me. I have a home, a warm bed, and more food than I could ever dream of back on the streets. I have friends like Boki Dookie, Gus, and Kai. Most importantly, I have a mom, a human mom. The memories of Sri Lanka are still a part of me. They're the source of my magic, the foundation of my strength. That Paraya spirit, the one that helped me survive, is still burning inside. But now, it's not just about survival. It's about living. It's about family. And as I watch the first delicate snowflake drift down from the dark sky, I realize I'm not scared. I'm ready for whatever comes next, even this strange new magic called winter. I have a request from all of you wonderful people. Like all the things in the world, I'd have a creator, an artist, poet, writer, and most importantly, a kind human called Danuka Dickwila. He is the host of this channel, Silk and Steel. Can you please follow and subscribe to the channel? I am sure that will make him happy and motivated to create more stories and give life to puppies like us. If you want to read the story in full, click on the link below the comment section. Thank you for listening to me.